Hello, welcome to our second lecture in the introduction to ENC 1101. This one is going to be super important, so please pay attention. Now, it's called What a Thesis is Not. As we've discussed in the previous videos, thesis statements are the beating hearts of your paper. And also, I want yours front and center in the introduction. I have found that over the years, it is helpful for me to narrow down what a thesis is not, and then students come to this grand realization what a thesis actually is. So, here's some tips of things to avoid. First and foremost, a thesis is not a highly opinionated attacking statement. While a thesis should express your attitude towards your subject, it should not be dogmatic or overstated. Guys, watch your tones when you are creating thesis statements. For example, this is a thesis gone wrong. In typical scholarship boy form, Rodriguez is a horrible writer because the only thing he does is reword Hogarth. Whoa, coming in hot. There was no need to call that man a scholarship boy. Goodness, insulting. We must watch our tones. This is especially important since our first essay type is going to be argumentative and persuasion. Because when you guys hear argument and persuasion, you're like, and I'm like, whoa, calm down. It's not that kind of party. I need Bruce Banner out here, not the Incredible Hulk. So watch your tones. Keep it professional. This next one is a bit of a scourge of ENC 1101. A thesis statement is not an announcement. Guys, avoid this setup at all cost. My essay will discuss blah, blah, blah. Not very thesis statement-like. I need an argument, not an announcement. However, this is much better, and you will notice in the notes that accompany this video that I have highlighted the position portion of the thesis statement and the detail portion. Remember we discussed that in our last video? Position plus details equals smiley face? Yes, we did. Student pubs should not exist on campus. Cool. That's an argument. That student took a position. Because half the student population is under the legal drinking age. There's the detail portion. So, in your notes, the position is red, the details are blue. Much better. So, position plus details. This next one can happen. A thesis statement is not a factual statement. Remember, somebody must be able to sit down with you and have a professional argument with you. It has to be arguable. Now, for example, if you were just to say in 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue, that's just a fact. You can't argue with facts. It happened. However, this next one is more of a thesis statement. My history textbooks report that Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492, even though there were already millions of people living in the Americas when he arrived. This brings into question what is meant by the word discover and the accuracy of history textbooks. Now that is more of an argument. I have been witness to that argument at Thanksgiving in my Italian household, and let me say, it got pretty heated. I watched with popcorn. Either way. Now, a thesis statement is not a broad or vague, sweeping generalization. You must watch out for these. Nowadays, a high school education is meaningless. Okay. That's a position, sure, But where's the detail portion? It's like the student went halfway. You must be careful about vague thesis statements. The best way to detect one is to always run your thesis statement through the how-so test. Always ask your thesis statement questions like how so, so what, or why. And if your thesis statement fails to answer those important questions, you may have a vague thesis statement on your hands. So, clearly, that one did not pass the how-so test. It's missing some details there. Why is it meaningless? How so? Always run your thesis statements through the how-so tests. There are some great examples of thesis statements in the Bedford Reader. On pages 34 through 35, if you want to look at some more samples. Now, I'm going to show you a screen with an activity I want you to complete. You will see 3 sample thesis statements sets. You're going to pick which thesis statement is the stronger thesis statement and why. And what does that other thesis statement do wrong? You're obviously going to be answering this in the Canvas portion of our class. It will be in the Introduction to the ENC 1101 module. And you're just going to pause this video, go on over to Canvas, click on the activity, and type in your answers. Easy peasy. All right, let's look at the big 3. And by the way, fun shirt I'm wearing, I'm silently correcting your grammar. Awesome teaching shirt. Couldn't resist. Okay, now here are the 3 sample thesis statements. We're going to go through them together, and remember, you're going to our Canvas page, and you are going to tell me which one is the stronger thesis statement and why the other thesis statement did not pass the mustard, as they say. Number 1. Political and economic conditions in the early 20th century help explain the popularity of Marcus Garvey's Back to Africa movement. Marcus Garvey founded the Universal Negro Improvement Association and initiated the popular Back to Africa movement. So which one is the stronger thesis statement and why? And why does the other one not pass the What a Thesis Is Not tests? Online grocery shopping is gaining in popularity among American families. Online grocery shopping benefits American families because it saves money, saves time, and lowers exposure to marketing gimmicks. And last, but certainly not least, when a woman suffering from postpartum psychosis does something terrible, such as injuring or killing her child, she obviously needs help. When a woman suffering from postpartum psychosis injures or kills her child, she should be treated for mental illness rather than charged as a criminal. Remember, you can pause this video. So, don't fret if the video stops. Go ahead and pause and complete your Canvas activity for these 3.